felt like I created a bond with somebody who I could like tell my secrets to, right? This is why it's important to pick your friends and not be looking for people to pick you. Because you
Right.
fuck around and get you a fake friend, set you up. And that's exactly what she did. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? The boy that she was dating was older in high school, of
Hmm.
course,
Hmm.
right? That's considered a Romeo, or like I like to call him a charmer, like a Leshamier,
So it's
right?
like a
Because they're
groomer.
16. Yeah, they're
Uh-huh.
16. They're non-threatening necessarily to a 12-year-old. You know, me, I'm 12. I'm just like, oh, older boy, he's more
Mm.
mature. You know what I'm saying? It's her boyfriend, ditched school, right? And you know how, like, so we went over, he took us to, we went to McDonald's, right?
Hmm.
And then we went to somebody's house. You know how you walk into a situation and you could just read the room
Hmm.
and you're like, this shit not about to be good for
It
me.
don't feel right. Yeah.
You like you
Yeah.
know it, you could just feel it.
The
You could just
energy's
feel
off.
it. So I
Hmm.
walk into the room, right? Walk into the living room. It's men everywhere and a couple of females too. They all
Mm.
grown. Ain't no kids in there. Everybody's grown. You understand what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
weed on the glass table. There's Coke on the table. There's alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And like Colt
Oh, that's
45, Tennessee, you know what I'm
Wow.
that's
saying?
crazy.
Urban Dirt,
Wow.
like all that stuff, old school shit, right? Hood shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this about to be bad. Look back, her ass is walking out the other side of the door.
Damn.
She's walking back on the other side. Like I knew. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Damn.
And yeah, my life was never the same after that. So from
Oh my
12,
God.
so from 12 to 15.
So
And
you
the
Wow.
was
thing
12.
was, is
Hold
I
on. You
didn't,
was 12 when
12.
she brought you
yeah,
in there?
yeah.
Damn.
That's
You
crazy.
know, so here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? She felt like, well, she done already, I told her everything. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for her, she's like, well, she done already been, dealing with this. Don't nobody believe her where she's at right now. Like I felt like I set myself up to fail with that, befriending somebody like her, not knowing, that
You
she
didn't
had
know.
feelings.
You didn't know any
I
better.
didn't
So
know anyway. She was
Yeah.
bullying my ass prior.
so
So
she basically told them that you probably will be somebody they won't even miss.
Right.
basically,
That's because that's where some of that comes from, Mo. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I talked to
Yeah.
you about that, what happened with, my situation, but I can relate to what she's saying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And
Mm.
so I dealt with that from like 12, and then I got out like right before my 15th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
Man. And
yeah,
that's all due through really no guidance in the beginning stages to show you the right
right.
path to go around, whatever. And it sounds like the streets really became the love and the father figure for you to
Hmm.
find your love,
Yeah,
whatever.
I told you a lot of people think like that because we
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
talking
we
about
was talking
that.
about that. Hmm.
Sometimes your family on the street be more better than the family that you got at
That's a
home.
fact.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. And so you got to really pick your friends.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you out here looking for validation. Hold on one second.
So how did you actually get out of it?
So a situation happened. Um, I remember getting home really, really, really late. And my grandmother, out of all times, she normally never checks for me, but I got home really late. I think it was like almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I had come from a transaction, right?
Hmm.
And I was trying to sneak in and be quiet. I got caught. She asked me where I was, where have I been, the first time out of all the times. And I didn't really have an answer.
Hmm.
So even though I'm thinking I'm too big to get my ass whooped, she wanted to, take a belt. And
Hmm.
here's the thing, she thought that, you know, my ass was bleeding. She thought the belt, she whooped me too hard and she
Right.
thought she cut me. You know what I mean? So she was panicking a little bit. And
Wow.
come to find out it was a lot. So she called my grandmother, my other grandmother, my dad's mother, to come
Mm.
get
Yeah.
me. And they took me to the hospital, right? My grandmother was devastated. She thought she did that to me because it was so much. And then when my grandmother took me to the ER, the doctor told her she's been ripped.
Mm.
That's what happened.
Damn.
That's what happened. And then,
Damn.
you
Damn.
know, social services. And so I had to tell my grandmother what the hell was going on. My grandmother was just like, you need to talk. You need to talk now. So when
Mm-hmm.
I told her that and how long it's been going on and everything, she checked me out of the school, right? She cut pretty much all my hair off. We dyed it like a bleach blonde, and I was homeschooled. And I went to her house. I didn't go anywhere. I finished out high school basically homeschooled. I went to go live with her. I stayed inside with her. If I went somewhere, it was with her. But she basically kind of hid me until I graduated, and then I went to Spelman, and that was it.
So
Wow.
I'm so sorry you went through
Yeah.
that.
Super sorry. It's disgusting, man. Shit is.
Hmm.
It
Did
angers
you
me
did
to hear something like that. I swear. Go ahead, Sue. My bad, man.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Did you ever have you ever thought about making a book?
I'm working on it
Mm-hmm.
now.
Working on it?
It took me a long time. It took me a long time because I felt like, number one, I was always scared that I would be found, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Even when I went to Atlanta, like I kept that fear because I was always threatened. If I said anything, if I did anything, if they couldn't find me, they knew where my family lived.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So I just stayed quiet. I stayed gone. Went to Spun was out in Atlanta for a long period of time. Me coming back, I felt like I don't want to be attached to any of the shit I went through. And I
Right.
didn't want to be
Okay.
defined. I didn't want to be defined by any of the shit I went through. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, let me go to school. You know what I'm saying? Let me go get my degrees. I became a sports journalist at ESPN. And I was just like, I'm protective of my image. I don't want anybody to know that I went through that. I
Yeah.
want
Oh,
to
I
be
got you.
seen as the work I did. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be seen as smart and successful. You know, all my accomplishments, I worked for that. I don't
Right.
want anybody to think, oh, poor Keyanna, or, pity me in any shape or form, to think, oh, damn, maybe we should. Nope. I didn't want anybody to know anything. I just
Mm.
wanted to
Okay.
completely change my life and live and kind of keep that behind me. And I
Right.
suppressed it. No therapy, no nothing. My therapy was work.
Mm-hmm.
It was work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt when I was young, I was just like, I'm in my mind at like 18, 17, 18, I'm just like, I felt damaged. I was like, who's gonna mess with me? Who's going to talk to me? Who's going to take me seriously? You know what I mean? If I
Yeah.
tell them that this is
Yeah.
all the stuff that I went through, they're going to judge me based on my past experiences. So I just
Right.
suppressed all of that and I worked. I worked and I wanted to prove that I'm more than what I went through.
Right.
So I
Right.
definitely didn't want to tell anybody about any of that. It wasn't until I decided to start the nonprofit that I have
Mm-hmm.
with girls.
Oh.
You know
Okay.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? And working with the girls, I noticed a lot of little versions of me.
Mm.
And I'm just thinking a lot of low self-esteem, looking to fit in,
Mm-hmm.
no self-validation, looking to be validated by other people.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a recipe for disaster.
Right. Right.
Um, and the interesting thing was when I did go speak to a lot of the girls, none of them took me seriously. They were
Mm.
just like, you don't know about like real life. You work for TV. You know what I mean? At
Mm-hmm.
that time,
Yeah.
I was working for NBC Universal IE,
Okay.
and they wanted to talk about journalism and working for film and working for television. And some of them felt like I couldn't really relate to them.
Right.
And I had to really sit down. It was like a real ass moment. I was just like, no, actually, you know what I'm saying? Let me talk to you for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from so and so. I'm from South Central
Right.
LA. I went through, this, I did that, I experienced, not everything, but I said I've experienced some shit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
your mother, I'm not your teacher, I'm just Miss Keyanna.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of you trying to figure out, how you can be like me, let's find out how to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you leave this room, don't be looking to try to be like any of the girls on here. Be yourself and you pick your friends.
Right.
Because if you're looking for acceptance, you might be accepted by the wrong group and the wrong crowd, and that can get you into a lot of trouble. And I
Damn.
told them
Yep.
about my pain experiences and everything. So once they found out Miss Keyanna from the hood too,
Yeah.
I'm saying, and she working TV, it's
Yeah.
it's a whole different level. It's a
They opened.
bond.
They opened up.
It's a yeah, it's a
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
she's from the streets. She,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And she turned out to be, you know what I'm saying? Now they
Yeah.
talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're talking. This is
Right.
what's going on with me. This is what's going on at home. It was like a whole
Wow.
floodgate. So I had to start sharing my story in order to help,
Yeah.
because a lot of these kids, they're not going to just talk to somebody that's talking at them. You have to be able
Right.
to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so I left TV and I started the nonprofit working with foster care kids, group home kids,
Mm-hmm.
um, with a transitional home. I just started working with the correction center, and some kids, some at-risk youth kids. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have some kids that are straight A students, right? With low self-esteem, doing all kind of other shit. So they are a me. And
Right.
no one is really suspecting them to behave that way when your self-esteem is shot. And now you got social media. You
Yep.
understand what I'm saying? They don't even know how to look for predators. They don't pay attention to fake profiles and things like that, meeting up with people because,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, that person said, well, meet me at so and so. They're not
Mm-hmm.
aware of that. It's going to have to take somebody who has actually been through it
Right.
to really talk to them and talk to them realistically. You understand what I'm saying?
Can
And
you give an example? I'm sorry to cut you off. Give an example of
yeah,
that because today's
but
technology, like you said, is so enhanced. We can't tell the new age pimp and put it that way, I guess, whatever. But how can we
Yeah, that's a good way to
pinpoint that?
say it, Mo.
Yeah, how can we pinpoint that? You know what I mean? You know, when we came up, we knew you knew so and so Johnny down the block. Yeah, Johnny do what he do. But how do we
right,
pinpoint that right now?
right. I had one girl ask me about a profile. She was, she's been in my program for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and someone was trying to meet her and ask for her phone number and her address, and he would send her something, but it wasn't a him. It was an account, and it had maybe 3 followers, barely no posts,
Mm-hmm.
private account, and it had a picture of like a cartoon character, like an anime character of a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And this day and age, you can screenshot a picture of any kid and make it your profile
Right.
picture.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I said, have you seen this person? Did they do a video chat with you? Did you talk to your parents about this person? You know what I'm saying? That's suspect right
Mm-hmm.
there. That is a big red flag. A private account, because it's a lot of people would think, oh, it's a bot, but it can also be a pedophile.
Right.
And if you don't say something or question it, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a situation that we were able to catch. And
Wow.
it wasn't an adult, it was a grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Like she said, some of those pages, when you look at a page and you see one picture and you don't see people who make Facebook pages put a bunch of stuff there. So, like
Yeah.
she
Right.
said, sometimes those pages, I'll be questioning them too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it
You got a
might
Because
be
it's
lot
a
of.
hard.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they use a woman to get you, like
Exactly.
trying to
Yeah.
have like a girlfriend or, and like she said, it might be a guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see a lot of pages like that with Bitcoin and like they'll send a pretty girl or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like they
Mm-hmm.
Or
doing,
it could be a girl. It could be a
yeah,
girl doing what she
Mm-hmm.
said. Or
Mm-hmm.
you that dropped
Mm-hmm.
her off in the house. It could be something like that.
yo,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And in this day and age, times are hard. Believe it or not, some of the parents will say things. Somebody that they know, usually it's the closest people to these kids that get them caught up. People that they may know. It's not always strangers. Sometimes it's people that they know and they feel like they're supposed to be trusting. I'm not going to say that the men and the women are damaged. I'm going to say that they are walking around hurt, and hurt people,
Mm-hmm.
right? They done been traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
They
Hmm.
done they have all kind of shit that they're going through. They've been through stuff.
Right.
So they hurting.
Yeah.
You got a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
bunch of people hurting. They ain't
Mm-hmm.
processed
Yeah.
it. They ain't went to therapy. They ain't talked about it. They done been through hell and high water. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yeah.
know. They don't feel valuable
Yeah.
because they went through something. But just because you went through a whole bunch of shit, it doesn't mean that the experience that you have, though they may be negative, that does not define who you are. You define who you are and the choices that you make after that.
You
You know what I'm
could
saying? Your
become
mindset that you have after that.
you
You
could become more
understand?
powerful in a sense if you know how to take that energy and
Exactly.
twist it and turn it. But
Exactly. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
You understand? You hurt, unprocessed feelings, trauma, all of that. What are you going to do? You're going to project that on somebody else. That's
Hmm.
all you know. If that's all you know, do you understand what I'm saying? Then, of course, the next relationship,
It's
you're
gonna
going to
be
show up as all you
the
know.
hurt. Yeah.
You don't have the capacity to love
Yeah.
anybody else.
Mrecktv.